Alrighty, welcome back to Can I Talk for a Second with Mom and Dad. We are recording episode 2 today. So how are you feeling this week?
I still have, little jitters, but I think everything is. I think I'm good with everything, honestly.
I think I don't even know what to do with these, or just throw them. So that's how I live my life.
Yeah.
That's it's chaos. Yeah, I think last week was good. I think our first stream was good. I think we're kind of building momentum and getting, you're getting better with the TikToks.
Yeah. I feel like kind of loosening up in that department. It's very different than being like a streamer on Twitch where you're like, you're sitting down. Of course, you're trying to be a little funny,
Are
entertaining,
we
but
not sitting?
yeah, but this is like actually like you're talking about something. On Twitch, you're shooting somebody's face, and then like, oh, awesome. Like,
Great. So we got our whole setup here. We changed it. We're trying, some new things out. We got our producer and the subject of the podcast essentially behind the camera. And if you're tuning in live, she's also manning the live. So please remember that when commenting. She may be adult size, but she is still a child. So
thank you.
yes, just gonna throw that out there. So, thank you guys for tuning in today. So I sent you something last week or the week before when I saw it on TikTok, and I don't know if you're as like scroll happy as I am with TikTok, but I was watching. What do you? It's a cat.
I know, but I want to see if you come lay on me.
He might. The producer has an assistant, and the assistant's being weird. So I sent you something last week, and okay. So first, do you know who Ice Spice is?
Yeah,
Ava's
she's
laughing.
a female rapper that everybody is
That's
loving right
that's
now.
a
I'm
that's a
assuming.
loose yes, that's the high level definition. Okay, so I sent you that article because Ice Spice dropped a new music video called Deli, and in the video was a girl who was underage. The girl was 16, and people were kind of dragging her a little bit in the comments because it was posted to YouTube and it's on TikTok and it's everywhere. And this girl's basically, the cat's like, just gonna scooch in here.
Yeah, come on, man. Come here.
The girl's 16, so she's essentially in this video, short shorts, like shaking her ass. She's like on the counter in the video, like twerking on the counter,
Full
essentially.
on.
Full on, like you wouldn't guess she was 16 by looking at her, but she is. So people were kind of dragging Ice Spice, saying that she should have done better and known better because she's a minor. But then other people were saying that one, it's not Ice Spice's job to police it. It was an open video shoot, which for those of you who don't know means anybody that's around can kind of get in as an extra. It's not her job to police it, and her and the girl were friends, but it's the parent's job to say, you're absolutely not doing that, and to also monitor the social media of the kids. So if you look at this girl's TikTok page, which people tagged her, this is not her first run around with twerking on a stationary object. So, that was like, it brought up like a, why, sir?
Oh
Just
man.
get him off of there, please. Thank you. He's gonna have to go to prison if he doesn't
Oh my
get his
gosh.
shit together. It brought up like it made me think because she's 14, so she's 2 years younger than this girl. She's on social media. Obviously, we police or we monitor her social media, and it's been trial and error for us. But on the girl's page, she's full on. Obviously, no one monitors her content.
Well, yeah. I think with just us being humans, like with restrictions, we always try to find a way to do something we're not supposed to. So, I mean, when we grew up, it was a different time. There wasn't that much. I mean, there was, but there wasn't a lot of like twerking. You get home to watch MTV, BT.
Yeah, well, that's when
It
all
wasn't like
it
that,
no. Well,
you
I mean,
know.
there were, but it was a different time, and the content was all it was curated, and it was in one place. Like
Right.
the music video was curated. It was like obviously a closed set. You had to like go through auditions and stuff. Now, like I mean, I think about her and I think about Takashi 69. They're filming music videos on a whim in the middle of Brooklyn, in the middle of the Bronx, and there's no like it's just a pop up. Essentially, it's
Well,
a totally
100%.
different format.
Listen, you could be on your way home from school, get ready to go on the train, and like you said, you see these Takashi 69, you see Ice Spice, and they're like, you're hearing that you could be in their video, and nowadays with the way social media is, it it has a very strong hold, I think, on younger people, on the younger generations to say like, have so much more of an influence than you know, like your parents are telling you, hey, go to school, you know, versus, you know, the younger generation seeing, you know, YouTube and TikTok and them thinking that they just want to make one thing that goes viral, you know, and that a lot of people will like and
Yeah,
turn
and
them into an influencer.
they're an influencer and they see these people getting brand deals and all this other stuff. But most of the influencers that you see that are younger are young. They're like that kid that was opening shit on YouTube and was making millions of dollars. The
Oh yeah,
parents are kind of like curating that whole content thing, or family TikToks where, or like pages where the family makes content. When you have like a generational gap where the parents don't really understand social media and they don't understand the implications, or they don't give a shit and they're not watching the kid, then it's like,
100%.
then we run into an issue. Now we have this girl who is essentially out here running, like her content is provocative. She obviously knows her target audience, but is it the responsibility of everybody else around this girl to be like, hey, you know, you're 16, like chill out, or for Ice Spice to be like, actually get off the counter, or is it like, you're here, you want to be here, obviously it's cool, and the parents should be like, whoa.
You know, listen, listen, I don't, I'm not gonna say I 100% blame Ice Spice. I don't. She's an artist. She's trying to make a living. She's making her money. So there should be people that are looking out for her best interest. Like, hey, look, you know, yeah, we this is open, but let's kind of vet the girls or the women that are coming
Let's,
into this video.
at minimum, do an ID check.
And that's what I was thinking. At least an ID
But
check.
in an open set, think about it. Like think about the setup we have here. And none of it is a professional setup. It's something that it's homemade. So when you have somebody that's like, I got a camera, you know, we'll shoot it 8 different directions, and then we'll tailor it into a video, and I'll do it for $500 versus getting studio time. You're like, yeah, all right, sure. And then you got your homegirl that you grew up with forever from the block, and she's like, I want to be in your video, and you're like, yeah, absolutely. And then now it blows up, and now this people are hitting up this girl, they're realizing she's a minor. So it's like, you know, I think about, obviously, Ava's not twerking on countertops that I know of. She just like looked at me like,
She would not be able to get on the countertop after that.
but I think about, like, you know, the restrictions that are in place for Ava on her phone when she first got it, and even now, you know, like one of the bigger things I think about is like she's like been dying for Snapchat for the longest time, and I have my reservations about it because like you said, we didn't grow up with it, but I know what it is, and you hear all these things, and you kind of know, like what the implications are of potentially getting it, the type of format it is, and you're just like, rather than like policing it, I don't want to deal with it. So you're like, no. So you say no, but
Well,
then
yeah.
you know, like Ava has a TikTok, and at first I was, when I found it, and Ava was laughing
Oh, you
because,
found it.
well, I don't know if I told you this. So Ava had a TikTok, and then she was friends with a girl who
Didn't have any restrictions.
had no home training, essentially. And I was like not a fan of the content that this girl was sharing with Ava, so I cut it off and I took her TikTok away. Fast forward to her getting this phone. I send her something and I was like, "This you?" And she's like, "Huh?" And she's like, "How did you even find that?" She's like, "My name's not in the tag." She's like, "My
Nothing
picture's
to do
not
with
there.
me at
There's
all."
no content on the page whatsoever." She's like, "I was just scrolling and sending stuff to my best friend." She's like, "But how did you find the page?" And I was like, she's still to this day doesn't understand how I found the page. And your dad's like, "Your mom's nuts."
CIA.
But it had
CIA.
nothing to do with like my real name, like nothing about me at all was
Yo,
on
And I sent
I'm
it to
telling
her.
you, 3 letters. CIA.
Your dad's like, "Listen, your mom found everything and anything there was to find with the quickness." So I sent it to her, and I'm like, "This you?" And she's like, I was like, "I have you dead to rights. I know it's you." And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Well, what did I say?" I was like, "You know, I took it away. We didn't have a conversation about bringing it back." And I was like, "This can go one of two ways. I can take it away again. I can punish her and I can yell at her, or I can say, fine, you can keep it, obviously within reason.
Right.
But you're gonna follow me and I'm gonna follow you, and there's gonna be an open dialogue in the type of content, because I think of two things. One, I'm on social media. She's on my social media.
Right.
We've done TikToks. So I can't be hypocritical in saying, you know, no, social media, don't put it on there, because we're on it. And like you said, it was different
No,
for us.
100%.
Now there's like 18 different platforms. But you're gonna do it anyway, so I want you to do it wisely.
And
Essentially.
I think that is where sometimes it's hard, just a little bit to give that, that leniency because like you said, it's a little scary because like you said, you found it. It wasn't like it was brought to you like, hey, let me unpack this for you. I have a TikTok, like
Yeah, hey
because
mom, yeah.
I know we talked about it. But one thing I always tell Ava, and I would want any person in a young mindset to understand is, you know, we always want you to be who you want to be. Grow to be who you are,
But yeah, your
but
personality should shine
do
through.
the right things. If you know that, listen, you come across some, and your mom and your dad, they're gonna question you about it, then I would just say, yo, don't do it.
Yeah, well, and
Don't
that's but
share
that's
it.
that's
Don't.
my it's always been my advice to Ava is if you wouldn't do it with me standing in front of you or you wouldn't do it with me in the room, don't do it at all. Because
Right.
one, social media is forever. You put it out there, it's out there. You might delete it, but it still exists somewhere. It could come back to bite you in the ass. It's representative of you. But also think about the attention you're gonna attract.
100%.
Like you have to understand, and we were talking about this the other day, there's a calculated risk in everything that you do, everything that you post, the content you consume, and, so it's like, how much of it can I really filter for her?
Well, of course, 100%. It's like it's funny. It's like one of those memes that you see when you're actually, I want to say when you're driving. They say the music that you listen to influences the way you drive. So yeah, if you're listening
She's
to
like,
some like trap, gangster, crazy, you know what I'm saying? You gonna be driving, you know what I'm saying? So I also think that the kind of content that you watch and that you ingest and stuff like that, like it does kind of shape the mindset that you have.
especially when you're younger,
You
it
know,
definitely does. Because you don't, and I, like, just like a psychology fun fact, your brain is not fully developed until you're 25. Like, yes, you're an adult at 18 and you have most of your, like, cognitive things and most of your things are learned, but your brain for decision making and cognitive thinking is not fully developed until you turn 25. So think about these kids who are now on social media since they're 13 or 14. They're on social media 10 full years before their brain's fully decision making is fully developed. So it's like it's our job to guide her. And I saw this really interesting TikTok, and I refreshed the page and it went away, and I was pissed.
Go to your settings. Go to
they know how to use the phones
I
better
didn't
than us.
like it.
no, it doesn't matter. And then I'm trying to look at the exact same. You can go there. You click. I think it's like content or something like, and you'll see it was like comment history, watch history. You go into your watch history. You'll be
Oh, perfect.
You see this?
All right, there
Yeah.
we go. So, it was like a therapist or like a family coach talking about the phases of parenting. You're teaching your kids from ages, birth through 12. From 12 on, you're not teaching anymore. You've already taught them. You're guiding them. So you're essentially
100%.
guiding them through life now. You're not teaching them anymore. You've already taught them, hopefully, right from wrong and, like how to be a good person and how to act in public and all that good stuff. Now you're guiding them through the choices and situations they're going to encounter. Social media is one of them. So it's a huge one. So, that's a big piece of, I mean, even our day. Like, I mean, how much time we spend on, no, sir. No, sir, get down. Um, the cat's like, oh, fuck this shit.
They punishing you, man. I don't know why.
He's like, I just want to be part of this. But like they're consuming a lot of content on social media in various different ways. But I can't take it away, and I definitely don't want her to be like shell shocked. And I was talking to Rosalie about this today. You have people that are sheltered from all this stuff. The parents don't let them have it. They get out into the world and they're weirdos.
Well, yeah, because it's everything. Like it's like like a patient. You have them inside of like let's say an institute, and then they're granted to come out. Like you're ingesting the world all at the same time. So
At one time, you go crazy. You're like, oh, look at all this stuff. So it's like, you know, I want you to be exposed to it. I want you to like have experience with it within moderation. And at this age, obviously, it's my job to protect you. But I want you to experience it and have to make choices, and then but get like honest and real feedback from me where I'm like, that's stupid, don't do that. Like when we talk about this too, like when we talk about, like what high school's gonna be like and, the type of thing. Even when we go out, like we went to the Drake concert, we went to Post Malone, and I was like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. People are gonna be smoking at this concert. I'm like, you're gonna eventually be in a situation where someone's gonna hand this. You're gonna see it all over social media. You see people rolling up. You see people with the weed pen. You see whatever. It's not. I don't say it's normal, but it's part of life. Eventually, you're gonna be in a place where someone's gonna, like you're gonna be in a room and someone's gonna have their phone out and you're gonna be at like a hangout, and someone's gonna have that phone out, and they're gonna be passing something around, a bottle of fucking rum, a blunt, whatever, and you're gonna have to make a choice. Do I want this on this person's Snap or Instagram for all of eternity? One, that my parents might see it, and two, that it's out there. And that moment you're like, I hope I've taught you enough to know to say, if I'm gonna do it, I'm not gonna be stupid enough to do it on camera.
Oh no, of course. I think that comes down to, like you said, the guiding part is where I hope that we as parents did a good job in showing her the people that should be around. You know, that you know what, that if you make a choice, that the choice is 100% your choice, not a choice that you made me feel that I had to make. You know, just whatever, be your friend or to still hang out.
Yeah, but the peer
and that
pressure
goes
thing
for a lot of kids.
for
you
a
know,
lot. I
like,
mean, well, think about when we were in high school. I mean, think of all the shit we got into. That a part of it was peer. Like I don't think I cut school not one time, my entire freshman year, but sophomore year, like we cut like one or two times, and we were like,
well, yeah,
we
you kind
didn't
of
get caught.
you like dipping your toe in the water, kind of like
Yeah, but like think about then you'd post on like we'd post on our, that's when sidekicks were like super heavy, but you'd post in your away message like at Cropsey Park or at the handball courts, and that's on social media. That's the equivalent today of her like putting on a thread, at Tottenville Park, come through. Now like not only, and now at 16 I don't think that my mom is like watching my aim, like she had my aim screening. That's why I changed it so frequently. But like you don't think of that, and then you think back, like she thinks now, she's like, how the hell did she find my TikTok? And I'm like, how the hell did this woman know I was in Cropsey Park? Well, idiot, you put it on your away message on your Instagram, on your aim.
and that's definitely like a thing. It's like
The most random picture of New York City. How? It was a picture of New York City. It wasn't a picture of him. It wasn't a picture of.
Ma'am, you took that picture of New York City on the ferry while you were with me.
No.
Yeah.
yeah, you see,
Yeah.
see.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you took it while we were on the ferry.
She's random, but I changed my whole account.
Yeah,
Now, because now we follow each other. But okay, so now I was pissed, but I'm like, you know what? I also think about, it's in this generation, it's normal to have like a TikTok, an Instagram page. I don't want her to be the weird kid that can't do anything, that's got like a flip phone and like churns butter after school. I don't want her to be that kid. But I also don't want to be the kid that's twerking on the counter in the deli because her parents don't know what she's doing. So there's got to be like a middle ground. So I was like, you know what? Keep the TikTok, but now we'll send them back and forth to each other. Like there'll be an open conversation. Like we'll send, and I'm like, it should be like us or me or you or whatever. And I'm like, I feel like that's healthier than me being like, let me read your messages. Where I'm like,
and I always feel like we've always had this conversation where is always listen, our end of the channel is always open. I guess for her maybe it feels a little weird, like especially when, you have other friends that are maybe her age are like, oh, I can't really tell my mom or talk to my mom or my dad or something like that about these things. And, it goes back to what we were saying. Like, listen, I can't help you if I don't know.
And I can only help you once
you come home and tell me what's going on. Hey, we could start planning from that moment.
And it'd be small, and we fix it when it's small. But if you come to me with a colossal problem, it's already
it's too big. I can't even contain it.
It's gone wild. Like we think about, did it save for you? It saved it. You can post it. Yeah, save it and post it. I think about, like, she had a classmate that it was Snapchat, and they're in middle school, so technically they shouldn't even be on it, but they lie about their age and they get on it. The girl had sent an inappropriate picture around to a boy, and he took it and sent it to the entire school. Because just because it goes away type of thing doesn't mean I can't screenshot it.
Video on it, so that's it. And then it's like the who view, the insights, discard, and share.
Share, and it'll tell me to put it like on my pages or reel. You can do that. But the girl sent it thinking the boy wasn't gonna and just because it's a vanishing photo doesn't mean I can't take a screen grab and send it. He did, and now the girl's upset. Mom puts it all together, and now we conclude that this happened. Now mom's blindsided. She doesn't know that the kid even had Snapchat because she doesn't have any control over the phone. She just handed this kid a device. Didn't know the kid had an account. Didn't know any of this. So now mom is ingesting all this information for the first time that her kid has this, and also dealing with a crisis. Where if I know you have it and you're acting kind of weird and sus, and I can be like, what's going on? Like,
well, course,
and I say this all the time. I'd rather me be one level mad than 4 levels mad, because I'm gonna be mad. There's gonna be madness anyway. but would you rather me be just be, and I don't even want to say mad, disappointed in the situation or upset by the situation and fix it and be done?
No matter when I tell you, nothing's gonna change.
No, it will, because now I'm annoyed. Like I've said before, if you told me and came in and told me and said this is happening, you're gonna get a phone call. I know the phone call's coming. I hate unannounced phone calls, like with a fucking burning passion.
Not unannounced, just phone calls.
I don't like it at all, and I have a very people-y job for somebody who hates phone calls. But like if you would have came in and been like, "Mom, I fucked up. I had this happened, and now this, these people know. Now I can prepare myself." When I'm like out here like typing away at work and doing whatever, and I'm just like, I'm like whatever, eating fucking snacks, and now I get a phone call from a weird number, and I ignore it because I don't know the number. And then I get text messages on top of that. Now I'm piecing it together. Now I figure out something's wrong. Now I'm pissed because now I'm being bothered by a stranger.
Well, yeah, and listen, I would always put it in reference to, and maybe it may not really be the same thing, but it's always like, listen, when you go to your job and you go to your boss, you're not telling your boss 24 hours, or even 16 hours before, like, like, hey, I need this day off. You can't tell them last minute. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, because
you gotta tell in advance. So it's
yeah,
like,
oh, I need coverage,
so,
or I can't.
like you said, you don't want to be hit sideways. So listen, just hey, Mom, you got a call coming through. This what happened.
I know I fucked
blah,
up.
Blah blah blah. We can hash out later, but I'm just letting you know somebody's gonna call you.
Yeah.
Whatever's
Now, am I gonna be annoyed that this is happening, and I'll figure it out? Yes, but I can prepare myself for the phone call, and I can like make sure you can kind of give me a quick synopsis before I call this person back, but you can tell me what happened. But if I know that you have the app, I know that your other friend or whoever has the app, like it's easier for me to kind of like piece together. You can just put it to sleep because it's probably dying.
Yeah. No, you got a notification.
Yeah, just leave it. Because I haven't charged it because I'm not an adult. I forget sometimes.
I charge mine at like 3:00 in the day, and it's like I wake up and then it's like, hey, listen, I'm at 3%. I'm like, well, you're going on a charger for the rest of the day. So
yeah, I'm like, whoops.
Yeah, like I had my mom come in and was like, I was calling you. Well, phone's on the charger.
Sorry. Like, yeah, I'm like, well.
Same thing with the watch. Watch is dying all the time.
That happened to me. Oh my God, I was so sad. That happened to me yesterday. We were going to the adventure park, and I realized that the robot vacuum, unplugged my watch charger, and it wasn't charged, and I got no points for going climbing yesterday. I was very upset. Yeah, but that's, and I didn't even get the notification. Well, I couldn't. You didn't have it, but even that, like we share each other's activity and stuff. Like we've been in competitions like that. I feel like that piece is important because social media is not going away. It's not. No. It's never gonna leave, and also I'm on it. So
no, of course.
I'm, and it's fun. One of her friends had requested me to follow me on social media.
Yeah.
And like the teen parent, like mildly irresponsible like version of myself was like, that's cool, like that somebody's kid is like, yeah, your mom's cool, I want to follow her. But then like the responsible adult part of me was like, maybe everything I post is not fit for this kid to 100%. See, like on my page, and it might not entirely be fit for her to see, but she lives with me, so like.
I think that was a good call, like you said, because some of the things that we do look at, some of the things we do put in our stories is a little rough, but what we, at the time, I guess as parents, what we decide to put, visible for our child to see, I think we become more comfortable with being able to explain if she ever had a question, I think. But I wouldn't want to expose anybody else's kid to something that they don't want.
No, their household might be different, and we had this conversation a lot because between Ava and us is there's no generational gap. It's right. Our generation backs her generation, and there's no intermediate. Our parents, there's a generation in the middle. It's like right. The boomers, then Gen X or Gen Y, whatever it was, and then us. For right. us, it's the millennials and then Gen Z, which is her. There's no, so that they backed each other. We kind of grew in, like our generation grew into social media.
Right.
And you can kind of see like the difference of like the older millennials, the ones who are like nearing their 40s, late 30s. They're not heavy on social media, but our grouping is.
Well, yeah.
Because Facebook came out when we were like fresh out of high school. MySpace was a thing. We were coding pages like we were like professionals.
Oh my gosh. And it's actually so funny when you watch like that generational part, like the part that we skipped. So I guess my sister fits in, like
your
right,
sister's in the middle,
right there.
She's got a foot in both worlds. Essentially.
So it's so funny because every time she goes somewhere, it's like it's gotta hit social media. It's on the Facebook, it's on the IG.
But look at the the mediums that she's using. She's like the older generation is Facebook heavy, where I'm like, I don't even have Facebook anymore. I'm Instagram heavy. I love Instagram, where her generation's like, it's TikTok. It's and the type of content. We came from a generation of pictures. Like
Yeah.
making an album of 150 pictures from a small digital camera, and you
Oh my
uploaded
gosh.
every
It
picture.
was like
Now,
the photo collage.
the photo
era.
collage, the pic collage of all this shit.
Snapchat and
But it's a different type of content because we did solely pictures. Videos were not a thing. We didn't have the medium to get like a video.
Yeah,
a video
like-
was a real rare thing. It was all pictures.
Were y'all doing like these TikTok dances
was
and stuff
none
like
of that for
We
us.
didn't do that. It was all like, especially going through high school, was like the phases where the girls were like, they took like 100 pictures with their boyfriends, and then it was like the next day was this collage
Yes,
of I
you
love
created,
you,
yep.
me and you,
You had a song, you made it the
2010,
background,
2012, like it was crazy. So
Yeah, it was
it's-
like a time of pictures and it was like editing, super over editing your photos. Now a lot of the content is video. So you think about
Right.
TikTok is video. So like I preferred Instagram came out a little after she was born. I still like Instagram, but how I use it is different in that like maybe you don't post as much. It's a lot of like it's more like consumable. Like it's not all live, but it's more live action. It's like
Oh, no,
interactive
yeah.
content. And it's different. So like learning to adapt to that also to like not be left in
Yeah,
like
I mean, 'cause,
boomerville.
I mean, look at it now. Like when we were growing up, iPhones weren't like these heavy machineries that you were using in your pocket that you could say you literally
You didn't have
had
a computer in your
a
pocket.
$500 photography
No,
equipment in
the
your
camera
pocket.
was like this big. It was grainy as hell. It looked like CCTV footage. It was not at all what I mean. These we were
Now
saying it
you
the
can
other
do
day, like,
movies.
well, that and the day that you called me, you were like, "How the hell do I put a link in my Instagram
Yeah,
thing?"
like-
the camera on this MacBook is less powerful than the one that's on the iPhone.
Oh,
Our
yeah, like when
iPhone
we did-
camera
yeah, when we did the
is
FaceTime.
better
Oh my
than
God.
is better than the camera in my Mac. That's unheard of.
And it's like you feel like you would get more
I paid just
power
as much out of this, but I
Yeah,
paid just
'cause
as
it's
much for this as I did for the phone. So it's like that's nuts. But then I
Yeah.
think about like I do most of everything on there. I do the heavy editing for the video on here, but like all the reels I create and the
Oh my
promo
gosh.
stuff is all on my
And-
phone.
And that's I feel like you said like that's where their generation now. That's where they take that sense of technology and they make it go forward. They push it forward because like you said, now you look at the iPhone. It has like the stable camera, the 4K 60.
Yeah, the grid,
know,
all that stuff.
It's crazy. So I definitely think that we need to in a way accept the way they're going to live their life because it's very different. Like you said, we go back to AOL days and chirp days. You know
Oh
what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. The Nextel.
Yeah.
Social media was like our version of it, but it wasn't. Like there was no log of I'm sure my MySpace is out there somewhere with a million
Oh my
pictures on there.
gosh,
But like,
MySpace.
and it's funny because
That's-
I'll send you
woo.
pictures and stuff, and you're like, where do you find this shit? And I'm
Oh
like,
my
it's
God.
the Hall of Records.
I will tell you something though. Tom was everybody's top
Tom
five.
was everybody's friend. Tom
He's-
was everybody's homie.
Yeah,
But like just keeping like the consumption and how we interacted, there was no record of it. Like there was
No.
no like now your digital footprint is there forever. Like I look back and I use Time Hop sometimes, and it goes back as far as I've had the account, which is cool because then you can kind of like
Yeah,
filter your
it's like,
stuff.
It's like time travel.
Yeah, but it's cool. But you think about like how we interacted with the social media, what we posted. Like now, obviously, we're older and we have like more of like a, we were like 21, 22, and it really popped off with social media. Now you're like, okay, like that probably shouldn't, like that thought should stay in my brain, shouldn't
of
go on,
course.
and also like different mediums too. Like what I post on like Twitter might not necessarily be what I post on Instagram because it's a different like venue or whatever,
Yeah, 100%.
But like it's important to one because I don't want to be hypocritical because I'm on social media. The cat's gonna attack Ava, and then we're gonna have to make a podcast about the cat and not Ava because Ava will be dead. But I don't want to be hypocritical because I'm on social media. So she's seeing me be on social media. She's seeing me make TikToks with Rosalie. She's seeing me interact with content. She's seeing me take selfies. She's seeing me post a selfie. She's seeing me pose for them. She's seeing all this stuff. And for me to be like, you can't do that. And I'm like, that makes no sense.
Well, yeah, because I think, well, to me, it comes back very differently. Like I said, when we were growing up, we didn't, like you said, we didn't have much places to post these kinds of things or these kinds of content. And like you said, even if we did, like let's say they were just coming out, they were like just born. They weren't as perfect as they are now.
I mean, now look at the
or even
quality
as
of the
good.
video. It's nuts.
So, once once I look back to the time I'm growing up, I feel a little bit more comfortable only because, like, listen, once I hit you up, it was a hit up directly to your phone. Hey, yo, Sam, I'm gonna be by Cropsey. Like, meet me over there.
Yeah.
Or whatever. We would talk in school. Hey, yo, this is the plan after class, or whatever.
We're heading there,
and we
yeah.
knew that, yo, listen, we had to wait. It was like you had like a 10-minute grace period. If you didn't pull up, we knew automatically you weren't coming.
Somebody caught you coming out to school, or your
Yeah.
mom caught you, or whatever it was.
But for them, it's different because
It's
they're
instantaneous.
it's especially the whole FaceTime thing, like the FaceTime I'm going, they
Yeah,
just
show me where you're at, like that.
Yeah,
all
like-
of that, like everything is just. I mean, even like last week or the week before, it's like one of the YouTubers or whatever that she follows did like a random pop up meetup. In our day, that never would have been the case. You would have just had to be there.
Yeah.
They came here for a video before they went to Rhode Island for another video, and they had happened to be at the Staten Island Mall. Ran downstairs to Grandma, literal tears, because I've been watching them for years. And I was like, they're at the mall, and she's like, we're about to eat dinner. I'm like, they're at the mall, and she didn't let me go. And then I'm going to Carvel, and Mom was like, no, go on Thursday when your friend comes. I'm like, they're not.
I didn't understand what she was telling me. I felt. First of all, I was on an express bus back from Manhattan, and I was like functioning with 4 brain cells. But I was like, we'll go. I didn't think about the YouTube piece. I was like, if you want fucking ice cream, we'll go get ice cream another day. I was like, I don't want ice cream today. I've been in Manhattan all day. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
And she's
so-
like, they won't be there. I'm like, Carvel won't be there? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And she's like, no. She's like, they posted that they're there. We wanted it to go. And I'm like, who? Who's going?
Well, once again, like I said, it just goes back how we did it back in the day. Listen, we gonna be here
At this time,
time.
either show up or do not. And it was like, okay, but also think of it from the safety aspect of, like, yeah, we were telling each other, but nobody else could see that. Now
Yeah.
these kids are, like, posting geotag, and I had this conversation, too, at SnapMaps. Like, on
Oh,
SnapMap, like, if your shit is not private, anybody who adds you can see where you're at any given time precisely. So it's like, think about, all right, we're at the mall, and now we're here. I'm geotagging. I'm at the Staten Island Mall. Some girl I don't like sees it, and now we got an issue. That it can also breed issues, which is another,
It's actually crazy. And I wanted to show her. I don't know if I saved it on TikTok, but it was a guy who does this as a way to show parents.
Oh my God,
It's-
you two follow the same people,
He-
don't you?
Is it the kid that's from the park and he was like going to meet the girl
Well,
and the mom showed up? He tricks them online. He pretends to be somebody online.
This guy, he tells you to be careful about like your photos and your videos and saying where you are. And he does a whole breakdown of how he finds where
with,
you were at.
with the geotag on the photo, because in your iPhone
No,
photos,
but he breaks it down even worse. He goes to the state, like he looks where you're at, and he types in
you find
gas
your exact
station next
location.
to
You're at the 7-Eleven on Maple
Ramada
Street.
Inn, and then he pulls up that information. He goes to the map, he looks at it, and then he searches different angles. He looks at your videos to see what's actually in the background. Then he filters. He keeps filtering and filtering.
Down, yep, and it's like, I
And
did
now
this,
it's just
and I
like
searched this, yep.
And the lady told him, she was like, that's exactly where I was at. And she was like, I had to show this video to my son so he could understand that this is
the real world.
it's
I mean,
dangerous.
even us as adults, or as women, you think about like me and Rosalie go out sometimes. I won't necessarily post. I'll take the picture of the story and I'll geotag it, sure, but I might not post that till I've already left the location.
Yeah.
Like I might, post it on my, Catch 22, and we'll be there from 12 to 1, but I won't post that story till 3 because now, yeah, I geotagged it and I was there, but if somebody were looking for me or like trying to like track I'm not there. I'm long gone from that spot.
No, 100%.
So I think that way, like not danger prone, but like mitigating risk prone, where they don't necessarily, the fear is not there necessarily yet, where they're like, who cares if I tag that I'm at the Staten Island Mall? Who gives a fuck? Like they don't
Yeah.
think that way, where I'm like, I'm going to still do it because I want to post it, and like, social media is to like encapsulate your life and highlights of your experiences, but like I don't want somebody I don't necessarily want to see popping up on me.
No, 100%. And it always comes with, and it's funny. It's been said from like generation to generation. Even my mom said it to me. She said it to my sister, and her mom said it to her. When you're young, you feel invincible. You feel like you could
That's
take
not
on the
gonna happen to
world.
me.
Nah,
Yeah,
what?
no, it'll never be me.
Kidnap? Say who?
Yeah,
What?
or even like
I could run fast.
kidnap. Yeah, right. Like no one's gonna kidnap me. But you
No,
think
but-
about like, or that's like the extreme. Like being
No, of
kidnapped is
course.
obviously like the top tier, like worst case scenario. But you think about like,
But
just
even-
regular teenage bullshit. Somebody you don't necessarily like, knowing where you're at, popping up, showing up where you're at. Or somebody that's like a little bit like creepy. Knowing where you are and sending you like you just don't want. You think about like just things that a situation you don't necessarily want to be in that's not life threatening per se, but is not favorable.
No,
You can mitigate those things by like, yeah, all right, post that you're at the mall, but post it when you're walking back to your car to leave.
listen, my best advice is, again, referring back to the meme for their generation, it's don't ever let anybody know what your next move is.
But I mean, even we do it. We do it too. But what you don't, if they know it, they can track it. They can sabotage it. They can
It's
be
the
in on
same
it.
thing in the military. When you're in war, they watch how you move, what times you're moving, this, that.
Yeah, and your routine. So you think about if you walk the same way home every day. Like even when I walk around here, like I'll go for my walk for the day. I won't always go. Sometimes I'll go this way. Sometimes I'll go that way. Sometimes I'll come back this way. Sometimes I'll go back the other way. Because if somebody were to be sitting outside being a creep and watching, or were to be following my social media to see that I'm walking.
Don't say that.
What?
Because now I'm never gonna walk with you again. Thanks
I'm not-
a lot, mother.
I'm not saying. I'm just.
I'm
in
not saying
general,
it's
even,
happening,
Even when I
but-
walk from work, when I walk to the bus stop after work, if I were to leave work every day out the same door and walk up the same block to the same spot, if somebody were to know, like, to watch my moves of like when I'm leaving work, they're gonna know. All right, it's 4:15. She's walking out the door. She's gonna wait for the 4:27 bus. And so maybe I'll walk this way with somebody from my office, or
Yeah.
maybe I'll wait a little bit, or maybe I'll stop in Starbucks, or maybe whatever. But you just not like posting, not being predictable, but and also not being totally accessible either is like kind of a balance
100%. Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it.
because
not
it
being-
makes you totally accessible.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, it's hard because sometimes you think about it too. Like as a father having a daughter, you don't want, even just the slightest issue to happen. Where like you said, it's just like a creep or someone that she doesn't like, but
Likes her.
likes her because that's very.
It's gonna happen
It's
eventually.
very-
You're gonna be like,
it's
you're very
very-
nice, but you're creepy and get away from me.
Such a dad.
Because it happens. You
It
see
does. You
it.
just
It-
like somebody likes
Listen,
you. a little
I
bit too
saw
much.
it in school. It's like
Yeah,
You're
but
like-
it's not only you, it's like you too. You're like, oh, but you're a girl, you can't.
Oh, because the world is different for women. It is. Like I remember I went somewhere with somebody and him and I got back in the car, and no matter where I am or what I'm doing, when I get back in my car, the minute I close the door, I lock the door. And that's just a safety thing that I've been taught
Yeah.
since I was young. As a woman, I'm walking, even when I'm not, it's just ingrained in my head. Even when I'm not alone, like obviously if we're together or I'm with somebody else, you're obviously, the risk is lower because you're with somebody, but I immediately locked the door. And he looked at me and he's like, why'd you lock the door? And I'm like, I've always locked the door when I got back in my car because as a woman, the risk for me getting attacked or mugged is higher than it is for you. I mean, not to say that it couldn't happen, but,
No, but of
we're
course,
targeted
yeah.
more. So I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to lock the door immediately so nobody can pull the door open or get in the back of the car or whatever. I'm going to, it's just habits you learn as a woman to keep yourself safe.
And one thing I love about my car is if I hit the unlock once, it only unlocks
The driver's side.
driver's door.
That's mine too. Now,
Yeah.
well, now that it's supposed to unlock all of them on the second one, but it's decided it doesn't want to do that
well,
anymore.
listen, yeah, the Passat was just he just did whatever he wanted.
The Passat had
Yeah.
two functions. It was hot and loud, or cold and quiet. There was no in between. Like
That
it.
was dangerous. Like I have a couple people that could like attest to that.
My
That-
brother could attest to that. Or like when the top, like the ceiling, the thing started falling.
Oh my
And like you couldn't
gosh.
see out of the rear view mirror because it was like hanging down. And you're like, I think your mom stapled it back to the ceiling. And I'm
No,
like,
that was me. I actually
Okay.
bought like Gorilla Glue, and I tried to line it back up and like push it up there, and then it was just like
No.
it hung, which I think was weird because they always say Gorilla Glue holds anything,
Not
but
when
it
it's
couldn't
hot.
hold that.
Well, not when it's hot either. Think about how hot the inside of a car gets. Like
Oh
the
my
Gorilla Glue
gosh.
just probably vaporized.
And it just kept falling down, and I was just like, oh,
Yeah, that was a bad
insane.
time. That
Yeah.
freaking Passat.
rough.
Or my original Corolla with the roll-up windows
Oh
and
my gosh.
that.
Listen, those kind of things, they make you appreciate what you
build
have now.
character.
Yeah,
I think about
listen.
like even who was I think you were talking to somebody or somebody was like I don't remember I was at work and somebody was like my kid's never gonna get the newest phone like when it drops they're always gonna get like a hand me down and that's fine and like that's fine and that's totally okay like however if you feel like your kid can't be trusted with a new device or whatever the case is cool like or you want to teach them or whatever she's never not had the newer phone like she got her first phone and I remember when I got the phone that you were opposed to me getting it for her she was 10 she was in 5th grade
very.
and I was like at that time, that was like the weird time, like when COVID began, and I was still kind of working in person, but not. And it was like, it's just she needs a way to contact me when I'm not there.
100%.
But you were like, no, I don't. It doesn't need to be an iPhone. Get her a flip phone,
That's
just
exactly
a phone
what
to
I
call
said.
you and tell and talk to you.
And I've told her that personally. Like, the reason why you have a phone is because of your mama. If it was up to me,
Yeah,
you'd
your
be
dad didn't want you to
phoneless.
have that. Yeah, and I was like, well, you know what? There's a deal right now, and I think I got my dad's phone at the same time.
That was why the lady literally said,
It's buy one
"Do
get one.
this and that." And
It was
she's like,
to
"Well, I
add
don't have
to add
anybody
Ava.
else."
Oh no, it was my dad was already on my phone plan. It was if I added her to my phone plan, a new line, I got two. It was buy one get one. So I was adding the phone to my dad's plan or my dad's line and getting the phone for her.
And she's like, I don't have anyone else to add. I looked at her and I was like,
And I was like, I kind of wanted to wait till middle school to get it for you, but it made sense financially for me to do it then. And I was like, whatever, I'll get it for you. It didn't really cost me anything out of pocket. I think she got the XR is what you for the first phone. We got her a brand new phone, and I remember calling you and I was like, hey, just giving you a heads up. I just bought her a phone, and you were like, I don't want her to have this thing. Like I don't
Yeah.
trust that she's mature enough to have it yet. I think it's a mistake. I don't want her to have it. And I'm like, well, I was like, we are leaving this door, so she already has it.
Yeah.
I was like, unfortunately, it's already done. Like it's already, and every time we've gotten an upgrade, she gets as I'm getting the phone, she's getting the phone, and it's like, and I'm able to do that because she's the only one I have. It's like I have 3 of them in high school, and I'm upgrading phones constantly. That probably wouldn't happen, but I'm like, all right, well, you know what, I can do it, and I will. And to me, fundamentally, you're gonna have TikTok on this phone. You're gonna have it on the 15 or the 16. Medium doesn't really matter. I'd rather you have a working, up to date device, and that's it. But trust, and it's happened to her before. If you fuck around, the more you fuck around, the more you'll find out. She's, I've like come across something, and without hesitation, the phone gets locked. Like the only thing she can do with that fucking thing is check the time. It is a $1,500 alarm clock.
Listen.
And well, she had a fucking meltdown because Ava likes Duolingo
Oh,
to
the
learn
Duolingo, yeah, her
because she
super
had a streak and
yeah.
and I was like, fine. I was like, no, that's educational. I'll give that one to you.
literally broke down.
Because she's like, I'll lose my streak, and I was like, okay, all right, I'll unlock it.
Relax, calm down.
But other than that, all she could do was check the time and like the weather.
Listen, you gotta respect the commitment to the streak.
To the
though.
streak, yeah, no,
was
that's- yeah.
192 days strong.
And
Yeah.
listen, I just want to let you know, Los, because I know you're gonna see this. I'm drinking water, so don't think I got juice in there. I know I got some water. I know we fasting.
I have
right?
a Brita. I got a Brita. The filter needs to be changed soon, and he might be drinking mold, but it's fine.
That's all right. As long as it doesn't break it fast, we're good.
I don't know if mold counts. I don't know if there's any carbohydrates in mold. I'm kidding. Ava uses that filter. Ava uses that machine. I don't use that shit. I have it for her because in the beginning, every day for school, she takes fucking 8 gallons of water like she's a camel to school. Like she's never gonna come back here.
Listen,
I
I definitely like
cricket.
tomorrow is gonna be like the worst for me. I
do this but I do this accidentally. So I will, and has nothing to do with social media, but it's funny because maybe it does because again I work on a computer. We both work on a computer. I'll get up in the morning, like before work, to start my day. I'll go upstairs and I'll catch a couple emails from the weekend. I'll start doing something, and then I'll get wrapped up in a project, and I'll be like I'm focused on it, and then I like look down and I'm like, holy shit, it's 2:30. I haven't eaten all day, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that is unhealthy as fuck.
See-
I'm like technically that's I've now fasted. I ate yesterday at 5:30. I'm like I fasted for 24 hours. Woo! And I'm like
it's
so unhealthy.
It's the funniest thing when you're doing it unconsciously, like you said, like even me, like if let's say I get home and then on a Friday, I get home, I start everything, I fire up a stream, Ava getting dropped off.
No,
It's-
don't use me to get
it's-
dropped off because when I get dropped off, we get pizza.
Well,
That
yeah,
was
but
undeniable.
this weekend I didn't eat anything.
I wonder why, Mr.
But
Ma'am.
I'm just saying.
What did I say?
Yeah,
I
just-
literally
yeah.
said, what did we say on Friday? She's gonna be like, stay out later this time.
Yeah.
Like it's the summertime. Like it's not. It's like what?
But
like,
you told me at Grandma's house, I want to go home before the French closes.
it does. Well, it closed. I didn't realize it closed at 11 p.m. But the
Yeah.
traffic in the summer on that bridge is fucking atrocious.
Well,
But
my point is that you get
what did it just do? Oh, the light died.
so
I
caught
was like,
up.
huh, pause.
Yeah, you get.
I was about to just take this entire as long as it's still recording, that's fine. The light just died. It needs to be charged.
But You
I
just
did charge it.
you just get caught up in everything that you're doing.
Yeah,
That,
in
like
your
you said,
everyday
like
shit.
you fast automatically. Like you just automatically do the
But
fast.
I noticed that sometimes when you do that, like if you're, if you do it too often, you're getting headaches. Like you're, like
Oh
especially
no,
if I
of
don't,
course, yeah.
like it's not the best thing for your body because in some ways you're shocking it and your body's not like, wait a minute, we haven't gotten any food, like so. But think about all the fad stuff that you see on social media and it's like have this bloom tea or have like this Nutrafol whatever and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, if that worked for them and they look like that, then I'm gonna do the same thing. And it's like, no, that person's just blessed with genetics. That fucking plant powder is
It's nothing.
it's nothing. It's literally just like overinflated. It's like fucking Pedialyte in a tube. So it's
100%.
like that person has that body because they have a fast metabolism and because their genetics are make them short, petite, and skinny.
And that, yeah, and that, like I said, I won't take anything away from anybody. Like, some people work hard for it.
Oh yeah,
but they're
no.
in the gym, they're
Yeah, I
crunching,
mean, well,
they're
think
doing
about
their
last year
time.
at this time. I was like 45 pounds heavier than I am now.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And I went to the gym and I walk and like I do whatever, but like I don't fad diets and that like crash like the crash
Oh,
and burn
yeah.
diets. It's a lifestyle change, and it with the lifestyle like comes like all those healthy habits. Comes like sleeping. Like Ava's got a friend that doesn't sleep. Like she's
Yeah.
she's
Sounds a lot like me, but that's all right.
No,
But-
like
but-
worse than you like scrolling through TikTok till 6 o'clock, latest 9 a.m. and not waking up till 5 p.m. and doing it. All
but I think but that goes back to what the original topic was. How much are you policing it? So as Ava's parent, even though and I said this to her when school ended, the phone will lock at midnight. And it will not unlock again till 6 a.m. So if you wanted to sit there and watch the paint drying in your room, sure. But I've made a decision for you, but I've created a barrier so you're not tempted to do that. So even if your friend's
Yeah.
blowing up your phone, you can't access it because I locked it. So now you don't have to make that choice. I've made it, and I've made it for you because in my house, I think it's healthy for you to go to sleep at a normal time. I've made the decision to lock the phone between these hours. You don't have to make that executive decision. Your friends can do what they want, but you cannot.
No,
Me
100.
and you love our sleep, so I'm gonna go to bed.
That's that's another thing too. Like like for just your kid, you don't want them to become in a space where like they're socially awkward or something. Like
Yeah, or
if
they
they
don't
go out
know.
with a group of people that they've already created this habit of just scrolling and checking and being on their phone. That
instant
when they're in
gratification.
when they're in a group and they go out with their friends and everybody's sitting around the table eating pizza, whatever it is.
But they're on their
This
phones.
is their one friend.
No, or some of them
Or-
do it
or
all
group.
together, and they're just
Yeah.
like obsessed with it. And it's like in some ways, I'm gonna create like parameters that you can function inside of. So like between the hours of 6 a.m. and midnight, you can do whatever you want essentially on that phone. Am I gonna tell you to put it away at dinner? Yeah. Like, am I gonna tell you, like certain things
of
are
course.
gonna just be hard and fast rules. But outside of that, I'm kind of giving you the autonomy to make good choices. Obviously, there are, I want to know what you're doing and who you're interacting with because it's been a discussion before. But it's like, if you can prove that you can make intelligent decisions and I don't have to come to your room at 3 a.m. and be like, turn that the fuck off, then, cool. But if I, happen to open your TikTok page or your close friend story and I see you twerking on the deli counter, I'm going to be a little bit annoyed. I'm going to be a little bit perturbed by such a thing at 16 years old, But I mean, think about how they dress, and like it's when I bought those shorts, and you were like, "Go get those shorts for your mother," and I was like,
Yeah.
I have those shorts.
You know what it is because
It's because you're a dad.
I just don't want her to be seen in a light that she shouldn't be seen in.
No,
You know?
well, but
listen,
also-
you look at Ava, 14, okay, but maybe like 16, 17. I don't want nobody seeing that to shorts, but I mean, hey, listen,
They don't show the
you're a
butt.
mom. Listen, I don't care. I don't care what a show. To me, if it was my decision, you'd be wearing basketball shorts.
Yeah, you want the shirt
Okay,
like that.
yeah.
So when we went to Target, they had the long version of those, and I'm like, "That's what your dad wants you to have on." So, like and ask her. There are rules with the shorts and stuff, especially the stuff that goes to school. Like
No,
some
100%.
stuff she'll come, and I'm like, "Nah, no fucking way." I'm like, "What? Out and about, maybe." I'm like, "But for school, no fucking way. Not a shot in hell." There are rules. So when you were like, and I'm like, I'm trying to like wrap my head around, I'm like, what shorts? I'm like, because she didn't really. I mean, she's obviously gotten taller, but she's not like when they're little, like one summer to the next, nothing fits, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they were like these, like,
Came out with them.
they're the same shorts. And I'm like, And I know you're like the way you're describing them was like they're like the shorts
Well,
from
to
the
me,
Ice
they were
Spice
short.
video. It sounded like you were describing the shorts that the bitch had on in the Ice Spice video. Her fucking cheeks are hanging out of it, and I'm like, maybe
Listen,
she did have a pair.
I
She
felt
comes
like it
out
was.
with the shorts, and they're the shorts I had on my body. They're the shorts I was wearing, and you're like, they're inappropriate. These are terrible, and I'm like, oh my
Listen,
god! I was
I
like, I
wouldn't
have to see
mind.
these.
Like, yo,
Ava
like,
walks out, and she's like, these, and I was like, I'm wearing them. You're like, but you're 33, and I'm like, fair, but like, we bought them at the same time.
yo, listen, I just maybe I took it a little too far, but I just thought it was house shorts. I was, okay, listen, you don't wanna, you're in your bed or you're in your room, you're chilling, you're not coming out, you're not doing nothing, you're not going out into the world. Yeah, cool, all right, I'm fine with that. Cause listen, sometimes I'm at home, I don't feel like putting a shirt on, so it's just me in my shorts and the Xbox. So I
Well,
get
that's.
it.
I mean, we're an all girl house, so when we're alone,
Right,
like
that's what
we're not, I don't we don't need to put pants on. Like we're just fucking chilling.
So that's what I'm saying.
But
I
the way
felt
you were
like you was like,
describing them, and I'm like, I can't imagine that I would have ever bought shorts that could potentially be that short.
it's just you know what it is. It just scares me in a way because she's just it's honestly weird now because she's like now she's really like a really good mix of both of us because she has like the long legs like you. You know what I mean? Granted, she looks like me, but
Yeah,
I mean
it was just like It was just like when you right click and you're like Control V, Control C. That's
yeah. So but there are some features that like the long legs. I get scared. I'm like yo.
yeah.
Listen,
She's got the long legs like
you know,
that.
so
Yeah.
but listen, as a dad, listen, okay, if you out there and you see that there's no reaction to the shorts, then I'm cool with it.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not even gonna hold you. There
Mm-hmm.
is definitely not these, not usually. Because she's wearing them with a longer shirt. When I go outside with them, I'm wearing like a crop top. It's tighter. Like what? I'm there. I know the reaction I'm gonna evoke when I go outside.
Right.
I fully expect it. I'm an adult. Whatever. We went to the Drake concert. And she wore jean shorts and I wore jean shorts, but my jean shorts are cutoffs, and they're obviously not shorts that I would buy for her at this age. She wore like the PG version of the outfit, and I wore the not PG version of the outfit. So she that wasn't rated R. I was with you. I couldn't wear the rated R version. The rated R version would have been the shirts with the cutouts in. I digress. It was just like a black shirt and the shorts, or the white shirt and the shorts, and she wore the opposite version of it. But we were in downtown Brooklyn, so when we picked out the outfit, I'm like, these shorts are just slightly longer than these. Know the audience in which you're going to be. We're gonna be walking down Atlantic Avenue. Like, let's wear the shorts with the roll at the bottom of the thing, not the fringies. I'm
See,
like,
and that's why you handle
let's-
those kind of events. 'Cause me, she can tell you when we go out, it's probably like the most family rated stuff that you can
well,
get.
I mean,
Like,
because
you know, like,
but I'm like,
and I don't want to say most family rated stuff, but like she did rock climbing. I mean, that's not family rated, but like it's more like I don't know. We do more like intense, I guess,
You do
stuff,
more-
or sometimes
I don't wanna say the nerd stuff.
outdoorsy stuff.
I don't want to say the
whatever.
nerd stuff. You do like this, like the
Different.
like you do like the educational like exhibit fun stuff, and I'm like, let's go be ratchet.
Just an FYI though, rock climbing way harder than it looks.
It is
Of course
very.
it is.
I tried to climb with these, and I'm like trying to hold on to like the little
You
thing.
would not be able to rock climb.
I can't because I can't grip the
The
little-
rock,
I
yeah,
can't
it's like the
do that.
little-
So, and
yeah.
Rosalie also has nails, and that was
Your
so.
claws hold it.
Well, the
No, I almost lost the thumbnail, and I had to let go, and I'm like dangling from the thing, and I'm like, it was the nail or my life, and I'm like, that's it, this is how it ends, and I just let go. And the guy's like, you can rappel, and I was like, fuck rappel. I was like, bring me back down.
You didn't have like manual auto blaze. You were just hanging
No,
in?
it was I didn't do on like the regular wall. I went up like the colorful, like the play one of like the different shapes and
Oh, the
stuff,
kitty one.
because Rosalie and Lewis were a little scared of the heights, but.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm telling you, it's way like down there. I'm like,
Listen.
oh, whatever, and then I get to the top and I look down. I'm
But
like,
but for
my
that,
first
but,
piece of advice I told her, I said, be ready to be hurting the next morning. Because
yeah.
you gotta
we were
hold
climbing
on.
through the sky thing, but for those type of events, you're gonna wear, like yesterday, I was wearing something comfortable because you're doing something that's not like an event. You're not dressing up. So when we go to the Drake concert, I'm like, all right, let's pick out a cute outfit. You're dressing to go somewhere. So again, we took a picture. We took a selfie in the mirror and in my big IKEA mirror, and like I'll post it because it's my social media. She's on it. I'll tag her. But one of my friends from one of our friends from high school was like, she's like your size, and I was like, she is just a couple maybe 2 inches shorter than I am right now. Like she's
Yeah.
just a little bit shy of where I'm at. She'll probably end up being my height, just a little bit taller. I'm
That's
like,
scary.
yeah, I'm like, but she's my essentially, the clothes I could wear her clothes and she could wear mine. We're the same size, so I also have to think ahead of like now junior year is gonna come. She's like, Mom, can I borrow that like crop top? Can I borrow those cutoffs? Can I borrow whatever? And I'm gonna have to like, it's almost hypocritical to be like, no, you can't wear that out. But it's like, here you go, like.
You know what it's like? Because I think it's because I'm so used to seeing the part that when we do go out and do those kind of things that she dresses regularly. So when we were just going to go to the store, where was it? Target we were going? Then when we went to Target and she was like, I'm going to wear these shorts. I'm like,
No, the fuck
well,
you're
you don't
not.
know. No, you're not. Put on something else.
Go the fuck back upstairs. And I'm like, but they came from Target, and I'm just like, when I bought them, I'm like, these are so cute. They're perfect. They're not too tight. Like they're a sweatshirt. They're comfortable because she doesn't really like jeans, and I'm like, these are perfect. We picked up 2 pairs, and you're like, they're ridiculous. And I was like, the outfit I had on today was ridiculous.
Okay, well, that.
So that like.
Well,
Obviously,
listen,
that's
that's
not
another
going
thing
out
we have in common. We don't like jeans. I hate jeans. And jeans are
I don't
the
like. I wore a pair of jean shorts today. Like yesterday, we went climbing. I wore like biker shorts and like a t-shirt because we were gonna. I
Yeah.
was like being strapped into a harness. We're zip lining. We're climbing stuff. Whatever. Today, we went out to the street festival in Spanish Harlem, and I'm like, now I can like not dress up, but like pick out an outfit. I wore jean cutoffs and like a keyhole white shirt, and I'm like that type of thing. Like when you dress a certain way, you put some certain things on social media, certain a type
No,
of
of
selfie.
course.
Like you're emitting a message to your audience. So knowing that is in the choices that you make on, especially on social media, because you're reaching a wider audience. Who you see like in the setting, you might see 50, 100 people. When you post that picture, especially when your stuff's not protected, everybody can see it.
Oh, yeah, public
You're attracting
profile,
a
something like
way
that, yeah.
bigger audience. So I think our job, like going back to what I said before, is now you're gonna want to do it anyway. It's my job to guide you through it. So you can do this, but this is the safest or smartest way to do it. This is the best way, to help you navigate this world without making you completely sheltered, but also not letting you run wild and twerk
Right.
on.
Twerk on counters.
I'd prefer you didn't. Truly. So
And,
it's like
and especially stay away from the boar's head ham, because that's the best ham out there. Boar's head.
she eats him.
See? I love boar's head ham. So just,
Well, no, that's
I hope no boar's head hams
the,
were hurt in that video.
I think it was like the actual like counter you pay on, but like that. But also, I feel like the health department probably was not at all amused with that video. But whatever.
of course.
But it's like like people were tearing. It was like a big thing, and I'm like that girl, and I forget sometimes. Like I know you said this before. I forget sometimes that she is, like I still you still think of her as like a little kid, or like a younger kid because like she is that age group is her now.
Right.
That age group is
Well, I don't,
is
I
in
don't
that
think she's that
group
much
of-
older than that girl.
No,
She's
that
like
girl's-
18 or 19. Ice Spice?
Ice Spice is she's legal. She's an adult,
Mm-hmm.
an adult by legal terms. But she grew up with this girl, so
Right.
you're friends forever, and your friend now is blowing up, and you're like, I've known you forever. I want to be in your video. And as a friend, you're like, cool, that's great. You don't think again. You're not in that parent or that adult mindset of like that's probably a bad idea because it looks bad that a 16-year-old's in my video. Where like. You're like those girls are closer to her age than they are to our age, and it's like she's in that grouping where do I think that she'll ever be in an instance where she's going to be in the Bronx twerking on a deli counter? No, but like other things like that provokes the question of like, no, you're going out with your friends to the movies, you're going to Dave and Buster's, you're going here, you're going there, like somebody's going to whip that phone out and record something. Someone's
of
going to take a
course.
picture,
Listen.
a video, a TikTok. They're going to do a TikTok to a sound,
going
and
on,
you
buddy?
might not know, or you might not think there's implications to that particular sound, or it's controversial, but we
visitor.
know that, he's like, excuse me, come on. Come on. No? That's your homie? Lewis is going to be jealous. You don't think that you're going to create a frenzy with it, but you do, and that's like where we come in to be like, okay, like let's pump the brakes. We can do this, but not that. And I think that that's kind of like the biggest thing, and it's like a learning curve for us because not that we can do whatever we want, but and not that we do, but we're like, I've only ever had to police myself on social media, and now I have to not only watch what she's exposed to and what she's posting, but it also makes you wonder, like, now I have to tailor how I am,
Yeah, of
like,
course. I mean, in certain scenarios, certain times, there's always a time and place for everything, But like I said, once again, I really don't go back to. I want to go back and say I blame, Ice Spice 100%. Only because, listen, if she's 18, 19, she's growing up too,
yeah, she's still learning.
So I feel like the people that are guiding her through her career and stuff like that should maybe do a little better job. Listen, we're gonna do an open thing, and
yeah, like maybe maybe rethink like what are you doing, bro?
you're so scary sometimes. Yeah, like,
You're just always in some shit. Don't do that. Come here.
I can't come retrieve.
No, you can't come retrieve him. Okay. There we go.
so
Yeah, and I
definitely
think that like I think it was like I was like I'm like, because I see the girl's age and I was like, oh my god. So I'm like, it's relevant for us because we have to think about these things with. No, but you're exposed to it. Like there might be a girl in your high school. Like you're gonna go. High school's a way bigger pond, so you're gonna interact with people where there's all kinds of kids. There's gonna be girls, not that girl, but girls like her that are like very promiscuous and provocative, and they know that they're gonna get a response. No one's really watching them. They're kind of like able to do what they want when they want. And you're gonna come from a place where it's like, my mom would kick. You say it all the time. She's like, if I spoke to you like that, I'd have no more teeth. Like types of thing where like it's like if I walked in the room and I was like, Ava, it's dinner time, and you were like, shut up, like I would strangle you. Like that's so
Yeah.
you're gonna meet different kinds of kids and different types of people, and you're gonna need to learn how to navigate and carry yourself around them so that you're not sucked into be like, that's cool, or like, I'll record that for you, like figure out like how to craftily get out of that type thing. Like it's
100%.
just knowing, or like having the tools, which is a tool that we would provide her to be like, yeah, that's cool, but like I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
and I say this all the time, like, blame me, I don't give a shit. Like put the blame and be like, my
Yeah.
mom would my mom sees my shit, like she takes it at the end of the
Listen,
day.
that's what we did all the time. Listen, straight up, yo, listen, my mom, she won't let me do it. If my dad find out,
Yeah, like
it's
they'll
over.
take my
Like,
oh no, they'll never know. No, my mom takes my phone at the end of the day, or my mom mirrors my phone to her iPad. She's fucking nuts. I don't give a fuck. Like I don't care if these kids think I'm nuts, but use me as the tool to be like, I can't do that, or like if my mom saw that, like I'd be done, like that.
Yeah.
Put the blame off of yourself, where they're like, oh my god, you're like a pussy. You're like, oh, stop being so whatever. It just shift it. But again, having that open conversation for her to be able to be like, this happened, and I said it was your fault. Like I don't care. But just knowing that we can have that, basis of like, you can tell me and I'll tell you the best way to get around it or get out of it or whatever, kind of is like our job now. Like now
100%.
we're like the escape plan,
100%.
not the Travis Scott song.
Yeah, no. I agree, but so
Yeah, I think
we did cover a lot of topics.
I think we
today.
did. I think we both might have a touch of ADHD because
Yeah,
at some points we were like way in the weeds.
Yeah,
And
we
that's
did like go like far out, and then
That's
we
like that's a corporate term. I hear that a lot. They're like, we're in the weeds now. Let's come back to that. We'll put a pin in it.
oh, now that most of my friends they watch baseball, so like we just went totally like left
field, yeah.
Like,
Or like,
yeah,
that's low hanging fruit, and I'm like, what does that even mean? And I'm
Yeah.
like, there was like a TikTok, and we're doing it again.
Yeah,
there's
see,
a
it's like bring it back in.
Yeah,
now,
reel
bring
it
back
in. There's a TikTok that was like the most commonly used corporate phrases, like when a meeting has gone awry, and it's like one of them is like, let's just put a pin in that till the next quarter, and I'm like, all right, we'll put a pin in that till the next episode or the next stream, which is Thursday at 9 p.m.
Yes, do not forget to come see us on
Twitch
Thursday.
and Instagram Live. We'll be streaming Fortnite. If you want to join in a game, hop in the chat, let us know. We'll add you to the party. But in
Would
addition,
you be good at the game before you join?
that's the shade.
I'm
Just
not
because
gonna
my
lie.
accuracy is 14%.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. Our first stream for you guys, we got a dub.
We
first
did our
game,
very first game with
Victory
a dub.
Royale.
Yes, we
Listen,
did.
For somebody who doesn't play Fortnite a lot, and
Someone who's got the
you know,
hand-eye
listen.
coordination of a fucking cricket.
we got our first Victory Royale for y'all on the first stream.
On the
Listen,
very first Twitch.
So-
Whatever it was, just whatever.
Doesn't matter, it
But
still
like,
happened.
in addition to like chopping it up about stuff like this, we also play Fortnite with Ava. and make TikToks, which I made them record and re-record probably
have, like,
6 or 7 times.
18 drafts.
Drafts. We have various angles. Like we're taking this seriously. And there's actually another one that I
Yeah.
saved too that we can.
Okay.
But yeah, so a family that TikToks together, that's
Yeah.
good.
So please, I do ask if you have any, topics that you guys want us to talk about or even
Yeah.
visit.
Yeah,
mention in
visit
the
our
comments.
page.
But definitely 9 o'clock
Check us out, and
on
we'll
Twitch, all right, and
Twitch
Instagram.
and Instagram, and we'll be there. But until then, we will see you guys the next episode. Thank you guys for tuning in, and peace out.
Peace.